Dan, Paul, you know exactly what I expect. Listen to me at all times, keep yourself protected at all times. If you want to touch gloves, now's the time. God bless.
No touch, denied. Hooker goes back to his corner. He wants none of it. He feels insulted by some of Paul Felder's comments, but all of that is about to be in the past. They are imminently about to do battle. The Kiwi.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
Felder told us this week that you can't hang around in front of Hooker. You've got to get in, do damage, get out.
4 of those calf kicks, so impactful is that strike. Oh, snapping right hand over the top.
Hooker doing a really nice job on the perimeter, like a sniper at the moment.
Felder doesn't really get started until he's in pain anyway.
4-inch reach advantage for Hooker, who's keeping it very simple at the moment and is very effective. He was really chopping away nicely at that lead leg. Felder's tattoo has turned a shade of red.
Good pressure already from Felder, but he is standing in range, taking shots.
Just
nice
listen
feint.
to the crowd.
Oh!
It is deafening in here as Felder lands a right hand.
Hooker just let his guard down for a moment while Felder was in range, then got caught with a 1-2. Nice prod to the midsection from Hooker.
I have to say, I've barely recognised Paul Felder this week. Such has been the focus and determination ahead of this meeting with Dan Hooker.
And he left all of his body fat in the US as well, which is unusual for Paul.
Nice
Snappy.
work there by
Snappy
Hooker on the outside. When these guys met a couple of months ago, it was a very intense stare down. I'm sure you at home saw it. The intention from Hooker was to make Felder go back to the States and train like he's never trained before.
Already bruising on that leg of Paul Felder, and Dan Hooker's just managing to stay out of range of a lot of these things. Felder's coming high on his toes when he's throwing that left hook.
Felder's very thick, especially his legs.
Yes.
But that said, that doesn't mean that you can't get hurt.
Trying to find his way inside with those elbows. A lot of the pad work that I've seen him doing with Duke Rufus has been very much a close range, cracking with elbows and knees. He's got to close this distance down if he's going to be effective with any of that, and the bruising on that calf is already showing itself.
Hooker working out with the likes of Israel Adesanya, Brad Riddell, who we saw earlier, Alex Volkanovski.
Good body kick from Felder there, perhaps learned something from the Barbosa fight.
Well, I was doing my research thinking, was there much that we could take from those fights? It's a common opponent. It was a real show of grit and determination by Hooker, who's shown just, again, the strength of his chin, because it was checked there by Felder.
Oh, there's no doubt that both of these guys can take big shots. Over 25 minutes, though, it's the one that takes the less shots that's going to be more effective in the later rounds. 18 shots to 11 at the moment in favor of Dan Hooker.
Felder's never been knocked out before. His only stoppage was due to the doctor's interception. Felder was in that war with Barbosa. His body let him down. His head was like, I'm not quitting, in one of the most unbelievable displays of determination that I've witnessed.
Really good management of range so far from Dan Hooker. Felder needs to start stall. That was a nice inside low kick.
Good work by
knee.
Hooker to get back to his feet. But Felder's foraging for opportunities to do damage there.
Underhooks here for Dan Hooker. Although Felder really would probably be preferring this range, especially if he didn't give double underhooks. Hooker here is opening the midsection up to knees.
Well, we shouldn't forget the amount of elbow strikes that Paul Felder has on his resume. He's a record holder in the UFC. 3 fights he's won by elbow. So on the break is normally where a fighter will employ them.
Always pressure from Felder. Needs to do a better job of stepping to his left and cutting the octagon off. Hooker's got free rein moving to his left at the moment. Felder's shadowing him but not stopping him.
Apparently Hooker used to be a featherweight fighter, isn't that something?
No chance, I don't believe you. See, that door is constantly open for Dan Hooker. He's always circling in this direction. Felder needs to really cut that off. So that first round was all about Dan Hooker moving away, staying out of range and damaging that lead leg of Paul Felder, which he's managed to do very well so far. Really snappy shots here, and the damage that Paul Felder took right at the end of that round has also swelled his eye up as well, which was surprising to me when he got back to his stool, because I wasn't exactly sure what had caused it. Felder's showing a lot of damage, as you would expect from him. Got to be impactful though, 20 more minutes to go in this fight. He doesn't want that eye to swell shut, and the doctor can stop it. That would be very frustrating for him.
Round number 2. Felder has fought with one lung, a broken arm. A little eye problem isn't going to deter that man.
Good block there. That is the forearm that he broke, I believe, though, so he doesn't want to take too many of them. Doing a better job of closing that door this time around. But Hooker is still circling towards that side over and over again.
Oh, nice head movement there by Hooker. He's managing that range very nicely as he sees Hooker go gliding past him with that elbow at the highest level that is not even inches anymore, it's millimeters.
The range management of Dan Hooker is really quite outstanding. And what you would expect from this team, we see the same thing from Israel Adesanya as well. Hit and not get hit. And he's fighting very disciplined as well, considering the pressure he's got on his shoulders.
Yeah, this does not look like the first main event for Dan Hooker in his hometown. But as you said earlier, Dan, those incremental steps, not wanting to go too quickly and too far.
Really nice performance so far from Dan Hooker, just slowly dismantling his opponent. Not really overly committing to anything and putting himself at risk. Working that lead calf. Now he puts himself at risk, but lands a right hand for his troubles. Oh, and takes a left hook.
Ooh, slamming kick there by Felder.
Overswung on that left hook did Paul Felder. Finds himself giving his back now to Dan Hooker, who looks to get a hook in. Nice work. Laced his legs together and give him further control. He's got a seatbelt grip as well. I expect him to either drag Felder to the floor or hop onto his back and get that second hook in. Felder knows the danger here, though. He's going to pull the arm over to the opposite side of his head if he can.
Yeah, good 2-on-1 control, but then Hooker changes up that grip.
Felder doing a good job of stalling this position, but not doing a great deal to get out of it. You can see him trying that 2-on-1 grip on Dan Hooker's left arm. He's going to try and control that wrist and throw it over the other side of his head.
It's an interesting stalemate because they're in the centre of the octagon. And I wondered when Paul was going to try and get this to the fence, but obviously with his legs aren't free to move that well.
Hooker just looks like he's cruising here. He looks like he's just so comfortable. Lovely feint. Feints to cover the calf kick, but Felder returns with a calf kick. We're seeing some marking on the lead leg of Dan Hooker now.
A lot went well for Felder in the lead up to this one. Came out early to get acclimatised, acclimated. Brought his whole team with him. The nutritionist has really helped. Anyone who's been following Felder on Instagram, or he has almost like a cooking show nowadays. He's a serial grazer out of camp.
I graze on cereal all the time as well.
Let's listen to Paul Felder's corner. See what instructions they're giving him.
One more. Yes, good low kick. Come on. Fire back. Oi. 1 minute. Oi. Oi. Keep going. No, keep coming. Return. Keep working. Keep working. Busy. Oi. Go, go, go. Liver. 1-3.
Excited corner, celebrating each and every piece of success that Felder's landing. It was a good moment for him. Nice left hook. Felder's up the tempo a little bit, Dan.
Yeah, this is not the range that Felder really wants to be fighting at. That's the range he wants, that close range brawling style that he's got where he can land his elbows. Dan Hooker's range management is really quite impressive at the moment. Nice work by Felder. Starting to pick his aggression up now. Snaps back the head with a jab. Does Dan Hooker though?
Yeah.
Felder can't get overzealous. Throws the spinning elbow. Hooker circles out away from the danger.
And Hooker is staying just outside that range a lot of the time. One after, but I don't think it was intentional. What an intriguing fight this is. So Dan Felder came into this contest with a heart rate down at 32 beats per minute, super fit. But to me right now, Dan Hooker looks like the man who's maintaining that lower heart rate in their first foray at 25 minutes in the world famous octagon.
I agree. The benefit in having a low heart rate is that you can keep a high work rate up, which is not what we're seeing from Felder right now. His pressure's maintaining, but his work rate is not as high as Duke Rufus would like. We've heard Duke in the corner saying double, triple jabs. When you get inside, stay inside. Easier said than done with Dan Hooker's movement. And there's a range between them that Dan Hooker's maintaining with his movement and his jab that's causing Felder some issues. He's having to really travel through the fire to land anything of significance.
Yeah, the end of round number 2, Felder started to spot some patterns, putting himself right inside that range. That's a nice jab. Goes to the body. Now does Felder.
Felder, although the damage is showing on Felder's face and that lead leg, the striking actually, I mean, Felder's 5 shots ahead at the moment. With a higher success rate in striking as well, 51% over 54
nice
strike. Nice
uppercuts.
work from Paul Felder on the inside.
His corner just told him to chain it together. Oh, beaten to the punch there. High-level mixed martial arts playing out in front of us. Such tough competitors.
Felder needs to start feinting his way in here. Oh, that was nice work from Felder. Drives through with the lead hand. Another snapping jab. Hooker wears these shots a lot better than Felder does, though, I think it's fair to say.
We probably consider Felder to be the veteran fighter. He's certainly been in the UFC longer, but Hooker's got 28 fights behind him. Oh, nice counter strikes there from Hooker.
Nice jab from Felder. Seems some swelling on the side of Dan Hooker's face now, maybe, from those jabs.
He was going to be walking out of here needing ice packs for sure.
Oh, yeah. Just have ice baths ready for these two boys. I have to say that Jamie Sheldon's done an excellent job with that swelling over Paul Felder's eye. He actually looks like he can see clear out of it now than he could in the second round. Powerful low kick, and he takes some punches for his trouble. Still 5 shots in it, Paul Felder leading by 5. No takedown attempts at all.
It was a respectful call-out by Dan Hooker 2 years ago when Paul Felder interviewed him inside that octagon after the Jim Miller fights. They're finally meeting once again, this time wearing the 4 ounces, and Felder is smashing those legs now. 2 strikes in it in this third round. Paul Felder leading by 2. Look at the, I think it's the right side of Felder's mouth. I'm not sure if that's where he's keeping his tongue, but there looks like a swelling spot.
Oh, no, you're talking about Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker,
yes,
sorry,
absolutely, yeah, I noticed that. I think that left hook's starting to find a home for Paul Felder.
And
oh,
Hooker
now the strikes have evened up.
His mouth is a little open as well. I'm not saying he's tired.
No, there's some swelling there, though, on the side of his cheek. But that picking jab is beautiful. I mean, this is something that's worth watching for any young fighter out there that thinks you have to throw every jab with power. I mean, he is marking the face up of Paul Felder here with a snapping jab.
But to be fair, some people just mark more. Some people are like peaches.
Yep. Absolutely. Felder's got that kind of skin that marks, obviously, when he gets touched because it's so pale. And he's been cut a few times as well. Good pressure, though. Never discourages Paul Felder. Now Dan Hooker's taken a slight lead on the strikes, 81-76.
Oh, that's a big kick. That's a big one. That hit the midsection, maybe even tickled the liver. 45
seconds in this third round. And then we're moving into unknown territory for both of these guys. The 20th minute is coming.
Dan Hooker's very much been a headhunter in this fight. Not really doing much to the body. Obviously, the kicks we've seen. Oh, as Felder went in for a shot in the last 25 seconds. Now he finds himself pinned up against the fence squarely.
Felder digs an underhook. Good pressure from Dan Hooker up against the fence.
Last 10.
Look at this work. Nice jab from Paul Felder. I feel like he's finding his way into this fight now. He's still taking some shots because he's still trying to move through that fire to get to Dan. But, you know, Hooker's movement and jab is really serving him well.
We came out here to win this fight for your daughter, my man, okay? Breathe. I know you can do this. Breathe, okay? This is what you train to do. Every time I need you to take control of this round. No, quit waiting on him. High parry, 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 parry. He's running away from you. So you got to go get him with your jab. Start working the 2, 3, but then you got to stay. Cut to the left. He's exiting to the left. All right? If he kicks back at you, I need you to fire back 2 or 3. You can do this.
Look at those significant strikes there as we enter the championship rounds. Hooker with more significant strikes in 1, Felder 2, and Hooker again in 3, according to the stats. This is what both of these guys wanted. They wanted to feel the championship rounds. This is main event territory now.
Oh, that was a hard calf kick.
Yeah.
Felder. Oh, and the inside low. Felder's starting to commit to these. I think the magic word was mentioned in his corner.
Yeah.
That is, you're doing this for your daughter.
It was a rousing speech by Duke Rufus talking about Felder's daughter, Aisling. He is wearing a mouth guard, the Blanky Donut mouth guard. It's a photo of his daughter's blankets.
Powerful right hand. Ate a calf kick for his trouble, but hey, this is Paul Felder's game.
Oh, 1-2 on the chin.
To deal with that pressure.
Dan Hooker, too, is a fighting father.
I mean, they are dead neck and neck. 90 for 90 on punches, on total strikes, sorry. And this is really where we get to see what these two guys are made of. Now we've moved into the last 2 rounds, the 4th and 5th round. This is where we get to see what the main event changes about these two guys' performance. Hooker talked earlier in the week about how he's got the adaptability to be able to cause Felder more problems. Whether we'll see that or not, I'm not sure, because Felder is forcing him to work here.
Yeah, nice. I'm not sure. He was confident that Felder would be able to bring his kind of game bell to bell over 5 rounds, but right now he's proving that he can.
Nice.
Oh, big shot.
Oh, that hurt
That's a
him.
wobbly Dan Hooker.
Definitely some damage to that jaw as well. That could be a broken jaw for Dan Hooker, you know, with that swelling.
And that's been there a while.
See, his mouth's open. This is not going to help him at all, taking those shots. Nice level change from Dan Hooker. Works for the trip. Paul Felder runs back to the fence to deny the takedown.
There's the adaptability that he was talking about, but I think he may have underestimated Paul Felder a little bit originally. But he's learning all the time whilst he's in there. Both of these fighters are.
I think sometimes when you watch Paul Felder's fights from the outside of the octagon, you kind of feel like he's more susceptible to the shots that you're throwing than he actually is, when you realise how tough he is and how well he wears them. The marking is a little misleading. Oh, we can really see some swelling on Dan Hooker's cheek here. Works to take the back of Paul Felder. Got a hook in again.
Good spot here for Dan Hooker in the last half of round number 4. Felder working on grips right now.
Felder's hand fighting. He's going to try and slide that arm inside here. He's going to try and slide his right arm inside, possibly square up to his opponent. He's got to watch strikes on the break.
Getting some distance between the hips as well, breaking that grip. Wraps around nicely. Good work there, piece by piece, getting back there by Felder. But I think it's the right decision for Dan Hooker to start varying things up, particularly if that jaw is a problem for him, Dan.
Oh, and again with Paul Felder.
And it's an even more big problem after that.
So look at that, 22-15 for strikes from Paul Felder, and lands another right hand in the process.
Both of these fighters so tough,
Really?
eating one another's best shots and firing back. This is what the fans in here, Dan, came and paid their good hard-earned for, and they're getting a show. These guys are leaving absolutely everything in there.
Controlling the centre well. The other thing that I've noticed is that Hooker's pulled back a little on the calf kicks, perhaps because he's getting pinged with those punches now. Felder's pressure starting to pay off, but there it is again. But the swelling on that lead leg of Paul Felder. You're starting to see the good recognition of that from Felder.
Double attempt here by Hooker.
Good elbow from Felder.
He's trying to lever him up. He's got a good overhook.
Nice elbow on the inside as well.
Famous elbow of the Irish Dragon. Hooker's been doing some pretty decent work with his elbows as well, so when these guys break, hold your breath. Such an evenly matched contest, and think about what lies in wait for the guys further up the food chain at 155, Dan. Gaethje, Poirier,
Tony
McGregor.
Ferguson, Khabib.
Oh my word.
Yeah, the list of potential matchups for these two guys in the future. It's enough to give you a headache if this fight hasn't. Very interesting. Lots of swelling on the cheek of Dan Hooker now. So here we go, Paul Felder really pushing forward with confidence behind these strikes now. Now we're starting to see some dividends being paid from them as we move into the 5th and final round. The crowd are rallying behind their fighter Dan Hooker. For Paul Felder is going nowhere.
This is it. The final act here in Auckland, New Zealand. Round number 5. Felder assumes the middle of the octagon as Hooker punches out that jab. That long, precise jab.
I would not like to be scoring this fight. It is so evenly matched. 113 strikes for Paul Felder to 106 for Dan Hooker.
Yeah, because judges really need a lot more magnification right now.
This has got such a hard job, unfortunately, for them. Even with the stats in front of us, I wouldn't like to make a call on it. Oh, and again with the right hand. Hooker just looks like he's starting to get backed up a bit now. Starting to feel this pressure from Paul Felder. There's the right hand again. Duke Rufus is calling Paul Felder on. He wants numbers, he wants volume from Felder. He wants him to put that 32 beats per minute to good use.
He said, remember the combination we were doing the last 2 days. That's what we need.
Oh, and again with the right hand.
Felder knew exactly what he was walking into here when he was facing Dan Hooker, a man who will not back down. You can hit him with absolutely everything and he will remain in the fight. He is showing that once again.
Great work by Felder now, starting to close that door.
Hooker wanted to give his people a 25-minute war, and right now that is exactly what is being delivered.
I feel like Felder just gets stronger as the fight goes on. It's almost like that first round seems like a warm-up round for him now, especially looking back to his other 3-rounders where he's made it to the distance. Oh, good level change from Dan Hooker. Felder's having none of it though, runs himself to the fence, immediately fighting the hands. Good work.
Trying to lace the leg. Felder turned in.
Good head position from Dan Hooker. See if he lands some shots from this position. He's got the body lock here, so he's not going to want to break his grip to land elbows. But knees is definitely an option for him.
Shoulders are on trend as well at the moment, Dan.
Shoulders are on trend, John. Powerful left up right hand. Hooker stands in the breach.
Speaking of which, I'm sure Mr. McGregor's probably watching this fight right now. I wonder what he makes of this.
Lovely right hand by Felder. Dan Hooker's starting to look a little more stationary now, which definitely suits Paul Felder's style. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is just shy of the whiskers. That is a lazy looking kick. We're definitely right at the end of the fight with a lot of effort spent so far.
Unbelievable significant strikes landed. 123 for Paul Felder to 116 for Dan Hooker. We're talking 7 strikes. We're talking 7 strikes.
There's
Nobody scored a
paper
takedown
between these two. Such a competitive match. We always knew it would be.
One thing is sure, no matter who gets the win, they've beaten the respect out of each other in this fight.
Dan Hooker came in as a minus 155 favourite. Felder plus 125. As he marches forward, just missing the target.
Felder just looks so strong still, even though he's tired and he's bruised.
Very bruised and battered.
Stubborn determination from Felder.
That right side of his face.
Oh, and a jab! The grit and warrior from both of these guys is really outstanding. Last minute, we're moving to the last minute. My goodness, can someone do something significant?
Oh, that's a significant strike there. Felder fighting off the takedown defense, a timely one at that.
Oh, and a takedown for Dan Hooker.
And a roar from the crowd. 1 minute left in this contest. But can Hooker do anything with it? Simply holding Felder on the canvas will not count for much.
45 seconds. Dan Hooker, I think he feels like if he holds this top position, it might steal him the victory.
Well, maybe in a fight that's so close and you can't separate them through effective striking, you've got to start looking down the list.
Paul Felder looking frustrated, wants to get back to his feet. Dan Hooker's doing everything he can to control him. Felder's back on his feet, but Dan Hooker takes his back. Felder's going to scramble. Wow, what a beautiful scramble there from Dan Hooker to maintain top position. Felder's still working. Back to his feet, last 10 seconds to go.
Will they finish on their feet? What a spectacular display of skill, heart, will, here in Auckland, New Zealand. And every single person here is on their feet. This changes a human being, a fight like that. The respect has been earned once again between these two fighters.
So look at this, Felder, as the fight went on, he started to progress, but in the early rounds he was taking some shots, he took some clean punches for his trouble, but started to wear on Dan Hooker as the fight went on. Moving into the second round, Hooker started to get some confidence from that first round, he started to land some good shots in the second. Keeps working the calf kick, we can see the marking on Felder's face from early on in the fight, but Felder, grit and determination, moving into his better rounds. The third round comes up, the jab started to pay dividends. Then he started to find a home for his right hand, but Hooker still firing back, not allowing him to get close without taking some punishment. Championship rounds, 4th and 5th. This is where Felder shows where his grit and determination comes in. But still, the movement of Hooker, the snappy striking. And then in the 5th round, Hooker was taking some shots, but started to really turn the table when he clinched Paul Felder. I mean, how do you separate these two guys? This is a takedown at the end of the round. What an incredible performance from both guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Barry Foley scores it 48-47, Felder. Howard Hughes scores it 48-47, Hooker. And David Letheby scores the contest 48-47 for the winner by split decision, Dan